of carrion. And we got excited. We thought maybe there would be a leopard kill of some sort. And this smell eventually seemed to follow us, which became quite perplexing, and we thought maybe we were being followed by something dead. And in fact, we were, in a manner of speaking. On the end of the stick that I have in my hand is the remnants of some lion dung that I managed to run over. And it was this that was giving us the exciting smell of death that we thought may lead to an exciting sighting, when in fact it did not. In fact, we managed to spread this dung so far and wide over Arethusa that we eventually found a hyena who was tracking us because of what we had done. So I'm glad you've had a lovely time with Brent. We haven't had a truly bad morning. It's been a very beautiful morning. And I just want to answer a question for Sibusiso from Hammanskraal, who has been traveling around the country apparently looking for the tallest tree. And he reckons that he found it at 80 meters or so, a blue gum, somewhere up here in the Limpopo province. Now, 80 meters high, it seems pretty high. And Jandre said to me as we were driving along, he said, but surely some of the forest species that we get in, say, Knysna, are maybe a bit taller than that. And I had to admit that I wasn't sure, but that I thought maybe they could be. Maybe some of the giant old yellow woods that we get. Certainly out here, 80 meters would top any tree, the tall tree that we have. I'd say if we look over that knobthorn there, that's roughly the tallest that they get out here. And that's probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's almost 7 or 8. No, that's probably about 10 meters tall. No, 20 meters tall, sorry. About 20 meters, which is about 60 feet. But we do get much bulkier trees out here, of course, and the biggest ones in Limpopo, the most massive ones, would be the baobabs. On this reserve, probably some of these scotias, you know, the really big scotias and the really big jackalberries that get quite bulky, but they don't get tall like those blue gums do. For those of you who don't know, blue gum is an Australian tree. It is an invasive species. So, Sibusiso, I'm not that impressed that you were so impressed by an alien tree. Right. I'm afraid in terms of excitement, that's about all we have for you today. But we're going to drive along the road, see what else we can see, and then I'm sure that you will go back to Brent to say goodbye to Quarantine, who I've yet to see. So that has further increased my sense of jealousy. I'm sure you will see him again before you leave.
If you're going to just pass on to James, that it's in Kahuma's up this side.
Welcome back, everyone. We've just moved around. Quarantine moved a little bit, so we've come around to the other side where we started, and he's literally eye level with me at the moment, just a little bit higher, and it is an amazing experience to be able to look into those eyes from this distance. And quite exciting to be with him again. Oh, it's a tired kitty. So much excitement chasing cheetahs this morning. The silly cheetahs want to growl at him. You have to teach them a lesson. So, back to the cheetah growling, and you could hear it's a very different noise from a lion or a leopard growl. It's quite high-pitched and sort of almost, I don't know what to say, how can I put this delicately? Not very macho, the cheetah growl, compared to that of a lion or leopard. And that is to do with the hyoid apparatus, which I have spoken about quite a bit, which is a specialized bone in the larynx of cats. So with cheetah and other smaller cats, that bone is ossified, which means it is solid. So they are unable to emit very loud noises, whereas the pantheras, which is lion and leopard in Africa, that apparatus is elastic, and it's more like a tendon than a bone, or even though some parts of it are still a solid bone. And what that enables them is to emit those much deeper and louder noises when they growl or saw or roar. So that was a really nice example of a cat that has an ossified or solid high-head apparatus making a noise, as opposed to a lion or a leopard. We've got that much deeper sort of, where the cheetahs are. Hi, George Ann from Illinois. George Ann would like to know if I think his left eye looks like there's something wrong with it. I haven't actually seen anything just yet. I will have another look right now as soon as he turns his left eye towards us. Mr. Quarantine, that's when you're supposed to turn your head and face us. He's not listening to his cues today. So Mr. Q is not taking cues. This is quite a good place for him to spend the day. There's a very strong possibility that some antelope species might move down towards the water during the day, and he is on the right side, and where he has a good view of the surroundings, as well as quite a bit of cover to work for from hunting if he decides to. There we go. He's turned now. Georgianne, I can't see anything wrong with his left eye, but oh no, he didn't turn for long enough. I'm going to try and get a snapshot of it, and then we will have a look where I can zoom in very tightly. Oh, he's heard something. It could be those buffalo bulls again. But who knows, it might be something else coming down. And you can actually, if you look very carefully around his ears, you can actually see those small biting flies flying around. There's actually quite a few of them. If you look very carefully, you can just see that tiny little bit of movement, little black spots around his ear. And those are those flies. And they're obviously not biting him too much yet because his ears are not flicking at high speed. Oh, putting his head down. Tired kitty. But what an incredible morning. For those of you who have logged in now or are new viewers or might be a little bit late on the show this morning, I'm really sorry, but we've just had the most amazing morning. For my first time since I've been here, we found cheetah tracks, and then literally as I was looking at the cheetah tracks, I lifted my head and I saw cheetah. So first time we saw cheetah, 2 male cheetah, and they were standing around a termite mound, giving this, what for a cheetah is a very aggressive and normal growl, but if you're used to the way the lions and leopards growl, it sounds not very macho at all, sort of, and they were growling at a thicket of round-leaf teak, and we were trying to get in position to see what was there, and then young Quarantine burst from said thicket and then chased the cheetah for a while. Not really seriously, quite half-heartedly, but the cheetah took serious note of that, and they literally jogged straight off Juma. And we followed them for as long as we could until they left our Travis area, and then we came back to find the male leopard. We weren't sure whether it was Kunuma or Quarantine. We knew it was a young male leopard, and there was quite a lot of speculation which. And then we went back to where we last saw him chasing the cheetah, and we tracked him by alarm calls of squirrel and francolin. We could hear the birds alarming, and the squirrels alarming, and then we came down just to the north of Buffelshoek Dam, and we found him, and he's now after chasing Bob's friend, the Hummerkorp, who has calmed down and returned, and giving Bob a bit of a fright by leaping up onto this open area next to the dam. And Bob's also calmed down now. He's now gone to sleep, and I know a lot of you have been quite worried because he had some injuries on his back, which we haven't actually able to have a good look at properly on camera yet. But we did have a good look while we were following him, and those injuries seem to have healed quite nicely. And he looks in actually very good condition. Looks like he's had a meal recently. So, oh, what did he hear? He definitely heard something. Well, there we go. We can have, oh, just not turning. Come on, turn your head so we can have a look at your other eye. Everyone's wanting to know how you're doing. A few of you have let us know that we were talking about another of Karula's offspring, and we were calling him Mixo. Apparently our pronunciation is incorrect, even though it is spelled M-I-X-O, it is pronounced Mishu. Maybe I can have a look at this. And let's have a look on, there we go, see if, so Georgian, it doesn't look to me like anything's wrong with his eye. I think there's a tick just below his left eye. Oh, that's right eye. Or below his right eye. So I can't see anything particularly bad with his eye. There is a little tick below it, and that's about all I can see. Hi, George from Florida. George would like to know, do cheetah climb trees? Well, George, they do. They're not as adept at climbing trees as leopards, but cheetah will very often use like fallen down marulas and other trees. They will climb up to use them as vantage points. They also defecate on these high grounds, and that's one of their forms of marking territory, is they will defecate on a fallen down marula or big termite mounds. And in the Kruger National Park, where there's concrete road signs, one of the most common places you will see cheetah dung is on top. So they'll actually climb up on top and defecate there, and that's one of the ways they mark their boundaries with other cheetah. So he's popped his head down in the grass behind me. I'm just going to try see if I can maneuver my way into a position where we can get a better view. So just bear with me for a few seconds. But so, yes, George, cheetah do climb trees, and quite regularly, but they have to be sort of easy trees to climb. They're not nearly as adept as a leopard is at climbing a tree. And there's a couple of reasons they do this. Oh, what is that? That felt quite good. Oh. What are you thinking, Brian? Are we going to make it?
I reckon we can.
I think we can. Oh, if the four-wheel drive stays in. There we go. So I'm just going to hop up this embankment quickly. Just going to see where the best... I think if we go forward a little bit, we might get a very nice view. So when, Brian?
Yeah, that's good.
So Dave from Toronto, I hope you've been enjoying this absolutely amazing sunrise safari. It's been an epic morning. Dave would like to know, is it true that cheetahs don't hunt at night? Dave, that is not entirely true. Cheetahs are mostly crepuscular. Crepuscular means most active at dusk and dawn, but they will hunt at night. Like all predators, they are opportunists, and if an animal happened to stumble upon them, they would hunt it. And I've actually watched cheetahs hunting in the full moon where there's a lot of ambient light around. So that's not completely true. They don't usually hunt at night, but they are more than capable and do hunt at night on occasion. So we're going to sit here with Mr. Q while he gives himself a clean. In the meantime, we're going to go see what Commander Bond has been up to. I hear he's been complaining to all of you that all the luck has been with me this morning, and I'm not going to correct him there. We have been incredibly lucky this morning, or as I say, skillful. Other people will call it luck, I call it skill. But in the meantime, let's go see what James has been up to, and we'll be right here with quarantine when you come back to us.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the sadness that is my game drive today. I believe some of you have mentioned how Brent looks like the cat that got the cream. I just want to tell you that Brent is going to be completely insufferable for the rest of the day. With good reason, probably. He has succeeded in showing you some marvelous stuff. I will of course have to deal with that, but that is not of your concern. The only other thing we found since I last saw you was a piece of mongoose dung on the top of this this termite mound. So while Brent found cheetah and leopard, we found mongoose dung. Wonderful. Okay, that's all I have for you for today. Until this afternoon. Thank you very much for all your comments and questions. Please keep them coming. We do appreciate them. And despite the lack of action around here, we have actually had rather a nice morning, just driving around and spending time in the bush. And we were with the hyenas, a couple of warthogs and some kudu and impala. And so I'm going to hand you back to Brent for the rest of the morning drive. Enjoy it. I know I would have if I had seen it, but didn't. And we will see you this afternoon. Thank you for your time and contributions.
Welcome back. We're still with quarantine. I'll be back with you in a second. I'm just trying to help another vehicle get into this position. That's affirmative. Actually, the best visual would be on the edge of the water, on the northern edge of the dam. Hi, Lynn from Toronto. Welcome on this sunrise safari. Really great to have you on the back of the vehicle, Lynn. Lynn would like to know, what is the maximum amount of males in a cheetah coalition, and what is the maximum I've personally seen? I have heard of coalitions of up to 5 in the Masai Mara and Serengeti. I've never seen a coalition that size. The biggest coalition of males that I've seen has been 4, and that was in northern Botswana. And that all depends, I think, on how many of the litter survive. So in areas where there are possibly not as many other predators, there's a good chance that the coalitions will be bigger. But 2 is a very, very common cheetah coalition from the males. And interestingly enough, it's only the males that will form coalitions. The females are all almost entirely solitary unless they have youngsters. So thanks very much for that, Lynn. And wouldn't it be amazing if we did start seeing a little bit more of this cheetah coalition on Djuma? And Mr. Q is perusing the dam, checking that no potential meals arrive. And watch how his ears moved back there. He's still listening to everything. So his ears, even though he's looking one way, his ears are actually acting like little radar dishes as they move around, picking up different sounds around us. So nice to spend some time with this guy again. It feels a lot longer than 5 weeks since I last saw him. So it's heating up quite nicely at the moment. The wind's starting to pick up slightly as well. So there's a good chance he might move. On cue. Thank you for listening, Mr. Q, this time. So as I said, he might move, and which is exactly what he's doing. He's going right behind Brian at the moment. I'm going to move with him. What I am hoping is because of the heat, he's going to find a nice, cool, shady place to stop. Might go for a drink. So let's just get into the right spot for that. Hopefully I managed to... Oh, you do. So just bear with me, folks. It's quite a technical descent from where we were. Oh, actually, we're not going to show him drinking, which we normally do. We're going to have a quick look at the wound because it's quite visible from here. And I know you guys are very interested in the wound. As you can see, there it is. There's still a little bit of open flesh, but it does look like it's healing quite well. So now that we've seen the wound, let's get the pretty shot. Get ready with your screenshots. Hi, Raisa, who's one of our long-time viewers. Raisa says she has only seen cheetah 7 times on the live drives since she's been watching since 2009. So thanks very much for that, Raisa. What an incredible morning we've been having. I love the way a leopard walks. It literally walks like he has not a care in the world.
He has swagger.
He has swagger. There we go. Brian's hit it on the nail on the head. Quarantine is walking with swagger. So what I'm hoping is he's going to go find a nice bit of shade to lie up in, and he will spend the day around here. So he'll be around for the sunset safari. There we go. Perfect. So I'm just going to move quickly. I don't think there's going to be too much action here for the next while, and we're probably going to leave him sleeping here, waiting for some unsuspecting prey to come, and we will go hunt down our breakfast at the same time. So it has been absolutely amazing having you all with us on this amazingly epic sunrise safari. So thanks very, very much for joining us, and how could we ask for a better way to end with quarantine sitting next to us. And let's just go back a few, it feels like seconds ago that we found 2 male cheetah growling at something in the roundleaf teak and outburst quarantine and chased these cheetah. It has been an amazing morning, and I don't know how. I said this morning when we started, I've got a feeling that something amazing and epic is going to happen today. And I hope I have that feeling more and more, and it happens like it did today. So thank you everyone who's joined us. So from Brian, myself, The Thumb, and everyone and Final Control, thanks very much for staying with us. It's been an amazing morning, and hopefully we will see you for the Sunset Safari later on today. For the last few seconds, let's have a quick look at quarantine, and we'll see you a little later.